in the dialectic. So when you mean like, how does someone like judge off argumentation?
You're not his father, bro. He can explain how he judges for himself.
How does someone judge off argumentation? I think it's like a very like one way track of thinking. Like for example, if I say I judge off argumentation, I'm just
Okay, I'm glad that you think that, but I want to ask this guy for his thoughts.
okay. We are literally like we share synonymous thoughts regarding the topic, so it's fine. We could just continue here. So
I'm not gonna lie, bro. The way you're talking, it sounds like this guy's just gonna dick it and give you the win no matter what. I don't give a shit. I'm just here for activity. Everyone's gonna like listen to this and think you got slammed or whatever. And I'm just here for activity, bro. Our final debate will end with a record of 17 on Haram's side, or
clear,
and
clear.
2 wins on Hero's side. Two
Okay,
debatable wins, in
okay, listen,
fact.
clear. I want to debate the topic Maki versus Gojo. Are you fine with that?
I'm fine with that. Get the recording bot out of here. I need to talk to Trouble.
Okay, so with that, dude, what are you doing? No, no, we're gonna right. This is
Trouble,
what
hold on.
for me
I'm asking you a
record.
You kick the
question.
recording bot, you're getting banned.
Okay, listen, we can have the debate after you talk.
Stop doing that shit.
We can have the. We
I
can
guess
have the,
Ram's getting banned.
I have higher perms than literally all of you. None of you guys can ban me. You're not getting a recording bot in here to record a debate when I'm not ready. That's not how this works. Okay? I'm gonna ask the judge how he judges. Otherwise, we're just not debating. Pretty simple.
appeal to him. You literally agreed to him in the chat.
Okay, I agree to him. I want to see how he judges. The fact that this guy can't even speak is concerning.
Speak. Wait. He can speak. He just is eating. He literally said he's eating. He can listen and not speak. That's fine.
Okay. Trouble, can you type?
Yeah, I can type.
Oh. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you the first question. Get that fucking recording bot out of here, or I'm just gonna ban whoever is doing that. Like, actually chill the fuck out. And Hero, actually no, I'm not gonna ban you. But if you get that recording bot in one more time, you're server muted until I'm done asking questions. Okay. That's what I just said. That's what I just said. You're server muted, and now I'm gonna ask my questions. Fuck off.
No.
Okay. So Trouble, let's say okay, so can you be more specific in how like you judge off of argumentation? Like what exactly does like one of the participants of the debate need to do for them to win the debate?
Well, for one, they need to address the claims that are made. They need to actually give proper rebuttals so that actually defeat the claims because sufficient reasoning, things of that nature. I think it's like pretty self-evident.
Wait, question. Do they need to address every claim made? Like, let's say someone just spams argument ad infinitum. Are you eventually going to have, like, a point where, like, you don't have to respond to every argument they make if they just keep making arguments continuously? And if so, at what point do you not need to respond to any more arguments made?
Well, if it gets to the point that it becomes hyper-skepticism, then I'll just like dismiss all of that. I would only judge like the actual relevant points, not like the infinite sub-points.
Okay. Do you think it's reasonable to be, like, after, like, one or two arguments, prop two is what I assume you would do, the person who has both of their arguments defeated, or the person defeating the other, or the person no, the person whose arguments have been defeated, like the first two arguments they presented as like counter responses, that person just loses. They can't just keep going afterwards.
I think two's very, very short for a debate. I think debates usually have like more than 2 points. Like I don't.
No,
Yeah.
I mean counter arguments for like one specific proposition. I don't mean like counterpoints at all during the debate.
Oh, like for rebuttals being defeated? No, I don't think the debate should end there.
So what do you think is like reasonable then? Can you give like a range? Like, do you think someone should be allowed to make 10 rebuttals to one proposition?
I think
10 is too much?
whatever the amount of rebuttals that you guys need to go over and then conclude, I think that's fine. I don't have like a objective amount for like the amount of like propositions I need to be go over.
Yeah, but what if it goes on infinitely? That was my problem earlier.
Well, I
How do you
already gave you
reconcile
the answer to that.
Well, your answer is somewhat vague. Can you be more specific? Like, when exactly does it come to the point where this person is just infinitely skepticizing or whatever, so we just can't debate anymore? I think post five, like rebuttals, people would say that's just extremism.
Yeah, so if it came to there being infinite points, as I already said earlier, I would just dismiss the hyperskepticism as an actually attacking the argument, and I'll just give verdict to the person who's on the negation of said skepticism. And I already said I'll just judge the most relevant points towards the debate and not these infinite sub points as they don't hold any relevancy.
Yeah, Haram, don't accept this nigga. That's crazy.
But
How's that crazy? Like, why would I waste time judging infinite subpoints that hold no relevance towards who wins the overall point of the debate?
why are you arbitrarily the determinant for what is or isn't relevant?
This is
It's
how
like
I judge. I already explained it. Like,
that's
I'm
why I
better than
told
you.
him not to accept it. I mean,
Well, I'm better than you, so it doesn't matter.
okay,
What is your debate skill being better than Mortified's? Assuming that it is, have anything to
he
do with your
he
judge
lost the
criteria?
speed.
If your judge
Everyone, Trouble
criteria is
lost
like
his
genuinely
speed.
like brain dead, like why would I accept you as a judge? Like, Trouble, I'm
Well,
not
what's
even
wrong
trying to
with
like
my
insult
judgment?
you. I'm just trying to say that your judge criteria, it's not making sense to me.
Well,
It
okay,
sounds
well,
like
what are
you're.
you confused about?
It sounds like because you're not like giving specifics, you could just give like whatever ridiculous criteria or interpretation of the debate you want, and then I could just lose because you want Hero to win or whatever. That's the
No, for
problem.
one, yeah, for one, I don't have any bias towards Hero. If Hero gets his ass whooped, which I think is unlikely, then like Hero loses, right? But I have confidence in Hero. I don't think he'll lose. But I don't have any actual bias towards him or anybody. I've judged for my friends losing. Like, I don't really care.
I mean, I want to trust you, but you realize that I don't have anything to gauge off of that, like to gauge off of you being honest or not. That's a
Wait,
problem.
I
wait,
mean, what
Haram.
would I
Your
lie
call with
for?
Future, do you think he's not comp? I think he's a good judge. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean,
Who
like,
do you think's a
Like
good judge?
usually whenever I
Good
talk to
judge.
him, he seems to be one of the few people that can track what I'm saying whenever I'm speaking. So I think he's low key comp. Do you have a problem with him or something or what?
Who? Can you repeat yourself?
Yeah, Future. I think Future's a good pick. You have a problem with him, or is he not willing
Oh, I
to?
have a
Or
major
what?
problem with Future. I don't let low tiers like judge my
Low
debates.
tier. Wait, how is tier? What the hell? I just told bro. Okay.
Future's definitely not judging, bro.
Okay. Well, don't pick.
I'll let
Don't
future
pick
judge.
trouble based on what he just said. What he said was some complete bullshit. That's like that's absurd. I'm
how?
sorry. No hate, by the way, gang. That's just like I don't know. They could
Okay,
kind of
okay,
becoming the
Well, here's the
arbiter of
thing,
like
though.
reality
if
for a
there's like
second.
Bro,
infinite, like,
here's the thing, Mortified. Most people, if you're like debating someone and you make claims and shit, and then like your first like response gets like defeated, you just most people will just say you lose off that. They wouldn't let you keep going if they like were deciding like a number for the debate. But a lot of times people don't give like specifications. That's why it goes on for a while. That's why like the criteria is important.
I mean, like I said, like, if you guys aren't even going anywhere, and it's just like infinite sub points that don't relate to the debate, why would I waste time judging these sub points? Like, I don't see how that's crazy. Like, if you and Hero debating, you guys like diverge into these sub points that hold no relevance towards the main point and doesn't decide who wins the debate, why would I waste time doing right on that?
What
Now,
if you
him,
drop like 50 relevant points though? Like what if you ask like 50 different relevant questions? Am
Well,
I
what now?
literally like required to respond to all of the questions and debate him on every single question he gives me?
I mean, yeah, like, you gotta defend your take, bro. I don't see the
well,
issue with
it's.
that.
What?
I don't think it should be the
There's
case
a
unless it's
realism aspect
stonewalling.
though. Like literally, one question could take up to 15 minutes of arguments. If I respond to 50 questions, we
Can I
will
just
literally have
debate
the
with the
longest
recording, bro?
debate in
Doesn't even
Discord
need to be a judge.
history.
Doesn't even need to be a judge, but we could just have the audience do
I mean, wait, hold on. You do
consensus
know
like
that, like,
recording.
hold on. You do
I'm
know that
cool
he
with
can,
that,
like,
but I don't think Hero's gonna do that. Hero, are you willing to do that?
I mean, like,
There's
for
no
one,
judge, bro. He gives a fuck, bro. We're not gonna like. There's no judge, bro. We just won't have a
I mean,
judge.
like, I'm explaining my, like, verdict of the means of which I judge. You guys are kind of just,
No, but your fucking judgment style is shitty booty. I want to see if Hero's
okay,
willing to
how is
just.
it, okay, how is it trash? Explain it. How's it trash? Like, you
Okay,
do
because again,
know,
okay, we can get into it. Fuck it first. You want to talk about this boring ass debate shit instead of actually having the debate. I'm trying to get you guys to just start debating. Instead, you rather talk about your stupid ass fucking like criteria, right? So
okay,
let's shit on.
Haram is
Right.
the one that wanted
So,
to, like, talk about this. Like, I
huh?
don't, Haram is the one that wanted to talk about this. Like, I already, like, gave, like, the rundown of it. I judge based off what's presented from the debate, who was attacked from the debate, and if claims were left rebutted or not rebutted. And I also judge
Yeah,
based off
that's
what the
fair.
debater yeah, I judge off what the debater says, not how I think, not what I think they said or how I interpret
Okay,
the argument.
obviously that's also fair. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, like that's pretty simple,
No,
bro.
no, no. What's this infinite skepticism thing then? What the hell's that? What
He's
everything you
asking
said
like,
so
okay,
far
He,
is
he
he's
fine.
said
What's
that
asking,
if
this?
someone, he said if like the person that isn't on the affirmative asks like 50 questions that are relevant, I have to respond to literally every single one of those questions and argue in favor of my interpretation over
no.
all 50 questions.
No, that's up to you. That's up very
Yeah,
simple. Okay,
like
it's from. It depends on what you're willing to entertain. Like,
yeah,
um, for example, like let's say me and you're debating like Kung Fu Panda inverse, like Tai Lung versus Shan, and I'm like, well, they like Tai Lung is able to like blitz all the Furious Five, right? And then like he goes high relative to Poe. And then Haram's like, well, you're a retard, Mortify, because what actually happens is blah blah blah. And then Mortify's like, oh, can you prove it to be the case that I'm a retard because you just claimed that I'm a retard? Under
Okay,
Trouble's
I wouldn't
judgment,
judge that. I would
technically,
not judge that. That's not relevant.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
not
So
relevant.
it's on. Gabe, thank you for clarifying. I was just gonna say that he
Yeah, that's
probably
not
wouldn't
relevant.
judge that, but that's it. Technically, it's up to you if you want that point to count or not. But it's not like a debate on who wins the most points. Therefore, you win the debate. That's not
Yeah.
how it goes. The debates are based on the value of the points. And saying that Mortify is a retard or not is a clearly valueless point. So you wouldn't have to contest any. You would have to engage with any of those types of contentions. I think he's more so just saying the stuff that isn't inherently stonewalling, right? So you guys could just define stonewalling and then put no stonewalling as a prerequisite to make sure that you're not going to question some dumb shit. But other than that, everything else that's going to be put into question should be relevant to the topic, right?
Like, bro, like some debates
Therefore,
But
that
under
here's
last.
Trouble's
my
standard,
problem though. He said that. Hold on. Here's my problem. He said that if Hero asks like 50 relevant questions and gives like 50 relevant contentions to my argument, I have to respond to all of that. I think that's
No,
ridiculous. I think that you shouldn't
I
have
don't
like
think
more than
so.
5 max. Realistically, I would make it 1 or 2.
Yes, but
well, no,
Response to
but
their
Haram, I don't
question.
think those. Okay, if there are 50 contentions that are all about how like you're fucking like retarded, like it's not gonna have any value. Those are just a bunch of roach
No,
points.
50
Like,
relevant ones.
Okay,
50
like,
well,
okay,
I
more,
mean, you could just
more.
tell your opponent they're shotgunning. I mean, it's not like he's going to hit you with 50 contentions simultaneously or even
Hitting
consecutively,
a
Actually,
right?
shotgun though is you have to respond to those points.
no. Okay, how
No,
it's
no, no,
okay.
no. Wait,
Let's
what?
hold on, Mordecai. Okay, if Hero like gives you like 500 points, you can just dismiss all of those points and attack them later. Like you can literally just say, okay, I'll start by attacking this thing, and then the other things we can just get into later. Like it literally just like subset all of it, bro. You don't have to address all
So
50.
again, I still have to respond to 50 points though. That is the
If they're
problem.
relevant, okay, if they're relevant towards the point and relevant towards the debate progressing, and you win this debate, then yes, at least 50 points need to be addressed. At least some of them. Like how do you think like formal debates work? Like niggas debate for hours and
No,
have.
no, that's ridiculous though.
Okay,
No
but
debate,
just do
no,
it.
like
Just do it.
debates
Okay, yeah.
realistically don't go over 2 hours.
Wait.
50,
Just do
50
a point
literal
limit
50
then, right?
responses to one
That,
claim could literally make a debate go on for like years. That's crazy.
wait. Hold on. Trouble. Would you be okay? Are they both cool with doing a point limit? I think 5 to 10 points max is reasonable
Like,
for a fucking
we like,
argument. I don't think an argument should have more than 5 fucking points, dude. At
I
that
mean,
point, it
listen,
has to be inherent. It's just so likely to become a shotgun. Because technically, a shotgun is not multiple points. Obviously, a shotgun is multiple arguments. But the chances of you making multiple arguments as you make multiple points is just increased. That's how we communicate in these competitive discussions. So I suggest the point limit. Are both parties cool with that? I think 5 points per an argument is more than enough. Or 10 maybe, but more than 10 is just that's retarded. I don't think because Trouble's saying 50 points like that's technically, yes, you could make one entire argument with 50 points and it not be a shotgun because it's not multiple arguments, but that's fucking ridiculous. I don't think anyone on God's green earth would want to address that. You know what I mean? So, you could, yeah,
I'm
you
not
could
talking about
question
like
all of it, but
points
still,
that
it's just,
I'm making when I'm
I
giving
think
an
I'll say
argument. I'm talking about contentions to the argument. I think we should have like 3 to 5 points is the point limit for like
so it's
contention.
it's five good. I think five is a maximum. 5 points.
listen, I'll just
Five
clarify.
points for an argument, 5 points for a contention is very fair, no?
I mean, it's up to you, bro. Like, I do think that,
Right.
like, if
In
this
the
thing is
hands
like,
of you.
it's up to you. Like, I don't really care, bro. Like, if there's 500 points and shit, there's
I'm just
500
trying to
points.
make it fair, everyone. Too. I'm trying to just get them to debate already. I mean, if I'm obstructing, tell me to shut the fuck up, and you guys just do your own thing. But I'm seemingly helping. Hero,
Yeah,
hero,
I'm cool with trouble if like that's what he's doing.
responding, hero.
Wait, actually, let me
I mean,
ask
like,
one more question, Trouble. Let me ask one more question.
sure,
Okay,
what's the question?
Let's say I give an argument that just like doesn't make sense at all. Like it just doesn't make sense, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm still using that argument to justify why like I'm correct or whatever. Do you think I like don't get a point off for that if like that argument isn't contended or properly responded to, or would I still get a point for that?
This is my
If the argument is confusing, I mean, I would first just ask for clarification until I understand the point. And I also, like the debater, also get clarification. But if that point goes unattacked, and again, it's like a relevant or contingent point, then yes, you would win that.
Even if you think the point's incoherent personally.
Well, yeah, when judging, like my personal feelings aren't gonna matter, bro. Like it's based off what's happening. If Hero doesn't think it's personal, and if Hero doesn't attack the point, then the nigga loses it, bro. As long as it's relevant and contingent.
The very last question. So if I say, like, for example, I think that this character is above this character because they've shown to be a speed blitz level above this character. When I'm saying that this character is above this character, I'm saying that they have greater compatibility. We know that you can be a speed blitz level above someone else and be a worser fighter because you don't have the AP to damage them at all. So that point doesn't really prove that your character has greater compatibility alone. Would you still say that the person making that argument wins, or no, if that argument isn't responded to properly?
If the argument is responded to properly, then well, okay, like the way I'm understanding, if they respond to the argument properly, then like they should win because they should just like be able to like make distinctions that okay, um, if I'm like a blitz level above you, then I could like just kill you or something along those lines. But if like you rebuttal with that, be like okay, they can be faster, but that doesn't mean that they're stronger. Then I mean you could win. Like I think it just comes down to who's debating it and arguing it. I think it's like a really vague point.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Do you have like
So
any more?
Maki versus Gojo? Yeah, we can do this.
All right, get the recording button here.
We get this shit on OBS.
Mortify. Can you make the pink? Hero has Maki, the strongest UJK character, and Gojo. Okay, Haram has Gojo.
I'm about to beat the shit out of this kid and fucking humiliate him, bro. You better get raped.
You can't fight crime without backing these scores.
Wait, hold on. You said Hero has Maki?
I have Maki. Hello, can you hear me?
Yo, what's up?
Yo, can y'all hear me? Oh, okay, so I'll start. By the way, I'll be on the affirmative since I know Haram's a little scared.
I'm
Haram,
very scared of you. Wait, hold on, buddy, hold on. Let me ping my server and get them to join and watch this debate.
I'm crying, bro. He invited his syndicate. His syndicate
I
are
don't
like
have a
this.
syndicate, nigga. I'm gonna get like 3 people to watch this debate, Tops. What are you talking about?
I mean, no, hey, but hell, more people joined for Hero than they did for Haram, so it's low key not a syndicate. I ain't gonna lie. You got more people supporting you. All right, ping is made.
Yo, I thought Oshi was gonna come here and give it a hate wash. Bro selling.
Do I have this recording up? Okay.
Hey, hello, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so yeah, are you aware that it says Toji fought on equal pars with like Gojo?
Got the statement?
All right, hold on, give me a second. Yeah, future. Do you have the statement that says Gojo fought on par with Toji or Toji fought on par with Gojo?
Yeah, I'll grab it for real quick. Give me a second.
Things go.
Hey, look it up once you're done. What the fuck?
Oh boy, the Toji glaze. Or basic skepticism. No, I don't think Haram knows what basic skepticism is, bro. It'll probably be like he punches the brick wall instead of like opens the door type shit. That's probably what he's gonna do. But just wait till we get the statement. Man. Haram, what you gonna do if you lose to this, man? I'm curious. What's your like, mid game thoughts?
Logically impossible that I lose this fucking debate, bro. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to send it. Peep scan chat.
Bet. So yeah, it just says right here that it just says as the Jujutsu sorcerers try to frantically rescue Gojo, a seance cast by one of the strongest
Scans chat?
makes it to a formidable opponent who once fought.
Sorry, is this in Scans chat?
Yeah, it's on Scans.
I'll ping you. Should be right there.
Okay. So my question to you is, why does this strength now backskill the current Gojo? And you do realize I'm also going to give a second point. Like first, the question was just why does it backscale? And the second thing is, why is this strength relevant given that Gojo was weakened?
Okay. So 2 factors here. First thing, why does it scale to the current Gojo? Yeah, I just don't think there's any evidence to support the claim that Gojo got relevantly stronger in the facet of like let's just say if X Gojo is going to be this amount of strength, you can never prove that or rather, I'm just not sure of the claim of why Gojo being like insurmountably stronger to the point where he just clips this other Gojo. And for the second thing you said, regarding the topic of, I think you said his strength not being relevant here because Gojo was weakened. Yeah, I don't know how you could ever prove he's weakened. Like, how do we justify that
He
claim?
didn't sleep for 3 days.
What?
He didn't sleep for 3 days.
Why does not sleeping in 3 days, like, where are you deriving that to be a weakness from, like, Gojo? I'm curious.
Okay, so not sleeping for 3 days literally like weakens your cognitive functions. That's like super intuitive. I can literally grab you evidence for that claim as well. And secondly, there's evidence supporting it because after Gojo like came up and used reverse curse technique on himself after like being down after getting stabbed by Toji, what ended up happening was that he literally just dodged all of Toji's attacks once he came back and he had RCT, even though he didn't like get anything, which would indicate that he got stronger. So I believe that he likely didn't get stronger via that, and I can justify that claim as well if you'd like me to. And this just suggests that the 3 days of non-sleep did weaken him because we see that he's weaker in one instance than another. And there's one thing that he has in one instance versus another. So I believe that the correlation there probably does indicate some causation, most likely.
Okay, well, we could just use like some like Bayes like epistemology account of like justifying probability in order to substantiate the conclusion. If we're going to go off like this pool of evidence that suggests that these two hypotheses are in like necessary contradiction with each other, I could just say that my hypothesis was that Gojo didn't get weaker. It's going to be like more likely given that, well, one, there's nothing to suggest that he got weaker, and the evidence you're positing is not probabilistic towards your conclusion, because in the instances you surmounted, like let's just say we have this statement where you're saying humans get weaker. One, I would need you to prove that this thing being like true for humans is also true for Gojo, because I don't grant that Gojo and humans work off the same structures of reality when facing like certain physical problems. Like for example, Gojo is able to do things like move at incredibly like breakneck speeds, basically teleport and do all these other things. And his cognitive ability is also different as well because he sees things like, for example, the way he perceives things are also distinct from humans in the sense that he sees in like this thermal, we could just say this thermal visualization type of indicator for like how he sees the world, which just incurs energy, where humans don't see things in this way, and they see them in this more abstract way, in the sense that they can see multiple things beyond this, like I can say, primary source of vision. So just to be clear, I'm just positing that the evidence you have for your conclusion. Also, you can send the evidence that you're referring to, by the way, because I don't see any in the scans chat unless you already sent.
Which claim in particular?
Yeah, one, I want you to send the evidence for Gojo. One, I want you to send the evidence for like Gojo being weak in here because you said there's evidence to prove it, and you went like rambling about some like explanation. But the explanation is in question, so I just want you to send the evidence of him being weaker because you said it's just explicitly shown to us.
The explanation is what's in question. So are you talking about the fact that there is a lack of evidence here, which I think, I guess would justify, what was it that I said earlier? There's a lack of evidence that he would be weakened for another reason, which I believe that since there's a lack of evidence in that regard, and there is another thing which would justify the phenomena, I believe that the phenomena of, being weaker and stuff would be justified by the fact that he hasn't slept for 3 days, and there are studies in real life which would indicate that humans do get weaker after 3 days of sleep. It's super intuitive. I don't know why you wouldn't grant that. That's pretty rad. And Gojo may be different in other regards, but could you give me a motivator? I'm just asking for a motivator. You don't actually have to give one because that's not a burden that you're obliged to. Can you give like a reason, like just asking, as to why you think, because Gojo is different in the sense of being superhuman, where he can move at superhuman speeds and move and use cursed energy, that would entail that sleep wouldn't nerf him whatsoever, even though the plot does indicate, and I am making that claim, that sleep is nerfing him, a lack of sleep.
Yeah, that's just gonna be two things, right? One is gonna be an intuition pump for me to like accept some type of like intuitiveness here because
sleep that's an intuition, by the way.
Listen, okay, so I don't mean to like drop the whiteboard, but like sure, I'll educate you really quickly. So we have this thing, right, where you're basically positing that it got to be the case. It just has to be the case. And I'm literally asking you, why is it going to be the case that we like normatively accept this thing? Because, like, for example, I think something that's more intuitive would be like, let's just say like
Excuse me, may I interrupt? I don't think it has to be the case. I think it's likely the case.
Listen. I think that's something that would be more intuitive, and everyone in chat would agree. It's something like 2 plus 2 being 4. But I don't agree, however, that this lack of sleep will cause Gojo some like trouble. And the reason I said this is because his physiology and just the way he functions as a person, or rather an entity, is going to be distinct from a human. I listed several distinctions: one in his existence, one in the physical capabilities he presents to us. I'm just enlisting things that normatively wouldn't be attributed to a human. So if you're going to make these like outlandish claims about how he's nerfed off these things, I need some evidence to support the claims. And even then, if we just go back to the account of Bayes' epistemology I granted you, or that rather I presented to you, these aren't even like probabilistic, like raising to your conclusion. And yeah, I'm just literally just applying like some other method of like
probabilistic increasers.
Simmer down there. What I said for the second thing, right, is going to be you saying that there's some like narrative implication, whatever implication. I don't care if you're saying it's anecdotal, empirical, narrative. I need to see it because I haven't seen any so far. So
yeah, sure, I can send it. I can send it. But you said that my instances aren't probability increasing. Why is that?
Right, it's just going to be the case that for one,
is that dick good? Yes, kid. How good?
How good is that dick, bitch?
Whoever did that shit was not funny.
Okay, listen, and two, also haven't justified.
I'm a piece of shit.
So just relax there. You can talk now that I'm finished since you wanted to overtalk me. I don't know if it's like some like form of autism you have where you just have to interrupt me, but sure, you can interrupt me now. Go ahead.
Okay, I already asked you this. Please answer the question. Why is my evidence not probability increasing?
You said
so
why?
You've given like 2 contentions so far, if not 3, just so that everyone's aware. You only have 2 or 3 more.
Hello? Yeah, you said why is it not probability raising?
Yeah.
Okay, so if it is going to like, okay, so let's just like get this very clear. You're trying to prove that Gojo got weaker. Yes or no?
I think it's likely that Gojo got weaker. That's the claim I'm trying to prove. Yes.
Yes, you're trying to prove the claim, right? That he got weaker. If you're trying to prove the claim that he got weaker, then I'm saying, what's the evidence? Your evidence was you explaining something under human physiology, and I'm presenting to you a reason or interpretation as to why utilizing human physiology, using human physiology is going to be useless here. It's going to be idiosyncratic. It's going to be it's not going to be applicable here. And Gojo works in a fundamental framework regarding his physical stats, regarding the way he interacts with the world, reality, and so like all these other things. And I'm saying that you are trying to give some false equivalence because you're presupposing that we can apply these same traits for these same like notions of
wisdom. Can I ask a question about your argument? I think you may have just hedged.
Sorry, to Gojo. So that's why your interpretation is not evidence for the conclusion, because the evidence is being your evidence is under question, and the evidence cannot work as some valid source of like probability raiser if it's in question. That's not how evidence works. That's not even how Bayes works. So what I'm going to need you to do is justify the proposition that your evidence is more likely going to be under your account or under your interpretation instead of being equal interpreted by what I'm saying. And if you cannot do that, then you just lose. You lose the point.
Okay, so hold on. I'm asking you this question. I believe you said earlier that under the account of Bayes' theorem that you presented, the arguments that I have presented are not probability increasing. Is that due to some external thing like the functionality of Bayes' theorem, or is that just due to the fact that this thing has been put into question and I have not seen evidence for it? Is it the former or the latter?
Not probability raising to your okay. Look.
Is it the former or the latter?
No, your evidence that you are trying to posit as evidence, it's not probability raising to your conclusion. It's not working.
The reason of before, the latter, or the former?
I said the reason why it's not in favor is because what you are saying can also be accounted for under my view or accounted
for. The latter or the former, hero. Pay attention.
That you are presupposing that we
the latter or the former.
Dumbass nigga. So you need to fucking track. You stupid ass nigga. So I'm gonna ask you again.
Oh, he's crashing. This guy's retarded. Okay. You're dodging the fucking question, bitch.
Applicable to these fucking physical.
That shitty ass Tibu mic, bitch.
Regular humans when I have evidence to suspect that he is not a normal human.
Alright, you haven't given the relevant distinction for why him being a superhuman is relevant. Okay, I think you're committing a special pleading fallacy. Why is this relevant?
In the fundamental framework of how you're utilizing
Different in any sense whatsoever does not matter. Why is he different in the relevant aspects?
supposing he's X. Now you saying why is it relevant is irrelevant because I already gave you the relevance. I said if you're going to say that, let's just say for example, right? Let's say I say that dogs go through this weakness or dogs are sick to like this thing, and then I ask my friend, okay, well, why are you telling me? Why are you like assuming I'm human? That's basically what I'm saying. I'm saying that you are saying that okay, well, we know from like human studies or whatever that the brain does this and the brain does that. Under a human modality, sure, like a physical account modality be a human. Yes, I know that. I'm asking
modality.
Gojo, why are we assuming Gojo can be coupled in this set of things or set of entities? You haven't answered the fucking question, kid. So I'm gonna need you to lock the fuck in and get the fuck up. Answer the question.
So hold on. I'm gonna send you the evidence for the stuff you asked for earlier, which was the evidence that Gojo is weaker because he hasn't slept in 3 days. I can send you the evidence supporting that. So hold on. So us saying that a dog is sick or whatever, that is not a. If we were to ask the question, why would that automatically translate to a human getting sick if they were infected with the same disease or the same bacteria or whatever, which I think is the question that you're trying to ask? We wouldn't automatically assume that. However, when we're talking about JJK, Gojo was born from human parents and he has human features. This gives me reason to believe that he is likely a human being beyond the superhuman aspects of cursed energy, the 6 eyes, and the limitless technique. Okay? Because he contains more similarities. Obviously, when we have more similarities, we can make the inference that one person is, or one entity, is likely similar to another entity. Now, since they're likely similar, they're likely going to contain similar aspects too, in the sense of stamina loss and brain fatigue and lower performances if you haven't slept for 3 days. That's the justifier.
Okay, you're fucking wrong. So just to be very
clear, conclude
of the evidence.
No, I have to send the evidence.
Out on front of the stage. What you said is not evidence that's going to be inclusive of your view. Just to be clear. So listen, I'll sit you down, I'll pat your back, and I'll walk you through it slowly. Let's open page 1. What you said, right? He was born from humans, therefore he's human. I'm retarded. That's not how it works.
That's what I said. I said, therefore he's likely human.
Something is born from you, something comes from you.
You just straw man my argument.
We can induce that is going to be human. Go ahead. Your second
I didn't hear what you just said. You cut out.
That could be okay. Listen.
I didn't hear what you just said. You cut out.
Stop. We're going over page 2 of the blunders.
Okay, write out your argument. I can't hear you. You keep cutting out. Your mic's horrible.
You can go over the blunders now.
I can't hear you. Oh my god.
Why is it going to be the case that just because he has the physical characteristics for this physical makeup that seems to be human, that means he is human? Or give some probability right now.
Can you put this into a syllogism, please? Can you put this into a syllogism, please?
Dumbass niggas. So first off,
can you put this into a syllogism, please? Can you put this into a syllogism, please?
You said a whole bunch of relevant fucking random. So what I need you to do is actually block me.
Can you tell him the fucking give me his argument and like a syllogism or something? I can't hear what he's saying.
I mean, the debate is like wait, hold on. The debate is like informal, right? So I don't see why we need to like put in like premises.
He doesn't need to put it into premises. But can you ask him to write out his argument, communicate it through text? Because I can't hear what he's saying verbally.
Hero, you're like, an African right now. So can you like fix that?
And the third thing I want you to prove is that
and the third thing I want you to prove is oh my god. He's a troll.
Yo, Hero, like we can't hear you. I can't hear you. So you gotta like repeat that.
Okay, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
So I just had like 3 things I wanted him to do. I said, for one, you need to prove that just because he looks human or he seems human to us as people, that we can like derive from some type of conclusion that he's human. Because I can bring to you situations in fiction where something will look human and it not be human. So, and there are even real world instances in this as well. So I don't know why that was even relevant. Saying like, okay, Gojo looks like a head, so he's a head. Like, what the fuck? That was retarded. Second off, I want you to prove that just because he came from X entity, that he's going to be identical to X entity. You said he came from like human parents and human mother.
Stay identical. This is another straw man. I am making an abduction. I am saying that I typically see human beings exemplify similar traits of other human beings. The fact that he's showing these similar traits gives me reason to believe that he's likely going to be similar, and the other aspects of being a human being. Human beings get weaker when they don't sleep. They get nerfed. Now, I'm also going to ask you, did you ever ask me to prove that they do get weaker from not sleeping? Yes or no?
Wait, you said what?
Have you ever asked me once in this entire debate to prove that human beings get weaker, they get nerfed if they don't sleep?
Wait, repeat that?
1 second.
Wait,
Have you ever asked me once during this debate to prove that human beings get weaker if they don't sleep?
If human beings do, I never told you to prove that because it's not relevant to the
Do you
claim.
agree to it? Do you agree
No,
to it?
I tell you to prove it. That's not synonymous with me telling you that I agree to it, dumb fuck. So answer the question.
No, I'm asking you, do you agree with it?
Why? Why is that relevant?
That's relevant because my entire claim is based on the premise of human beings get weaker when they sleep.
Okay,
When
wait.
they don't sleep, sorry. When they don't sleep, my bad.
Okay, wait. Do you think it's necessity?
Necessity? No, it's just likely.
Okay, well then, okay, if it's not a necessity, then I don't think we need to even go over because I could just say like, okay, no, then they don't necessarily get weaker. So it's fine.
What? Hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. This is retarded. You think if I'm making a claim based off of likelihood, if it has a 99% chance of being likely, just because it's not a 100% chance of happening, that means I don't need to go over it?
Yeah, because well, okay, look, we could go over it, but then you'd have another burden, which is to prove that Gojo like went under this like thing. Like for example, if you were to say, okay, well, I think we can apply this to Gojo. I think Gojo
That's
is
the
like
thing that's already in question, which I'm justifying. I've already justified it. I've given you the abduction. Respond to the abduction now, please and thank you.
given. Where was the abduction given? Where was the abduction given?
I just said it to you verbally in the VC. Do you want me to write it out?
You can put it in. Yes, actually, no. Say it again.
Okay. I have experiences. I typically see that human beings exemplify traits which are similar to human beings, such as getting tired such as getting weaker when they are tired, when they are sleep deprived. So given the fact that Gojo exemplifies so many of these traits, this gives me reason to believe that he is likely similar to human beings in the sense of getting weaker when they are tired.
Okay, so you're basically saying like, okay, we see that Gojo shares traits that a human has, so therefore we can make some abduction to claim that he would go into the same same weaknesses that a human has, right?
It's not an induction, it's an abduction.
No, I'm just saying that's what your argument is. You're saying that humans and Gojo share traits. If it is the case that they share these traits, then it's likely the case that Gojo can undergo this specific trait, which is just getting weaker via sleep deprivation.
Not just that he could undergo it, but that he would undergo it.
What is the argument for that? What is the argument for the conclusion?
The argument for the conclusion that he would likely go through it, it's just justified by the premises.
No, okay, look, you're saying that it is the case that he would share these traits. So basically, we can just get into that.
Again, that is likely is.
No, what is the argument for just because of him being okay, this is what I'm trying to ask you. Basically, I'm saying you would need to prove that just because this guy shares traits as a human, that this specific trait would be a byproduct of that. Because I can say, okay, well, monkeys and people, and let's just say this, black people and monkeys share a lot of traits. That doesn't mean that, someone like a black person, or let's just say a monkey, would let's just say die to a gunshot wound or something. So I need you to justify the equivocation.
Personal example.
You said what?
Yeah. So I'm not saying necessarily they will. What I'm saying is that they likely will. I don't have an issue of you comparing black people and monkeys and saying they're likely gonna share similar traits. That's just a prediction, and predictions don't have to be correct. We're making a prediction on things we don't know about here, which is Gojo getting weaker. So given that is why I think that he's likely going to get weaker given the abduction.
He did or not? You are making the affirmative claim that he did get weaker. So I'm literally asking you these line
likely
of
will.
Again,
you've strawmanned me 7 times already. I'm not saying he did necessarily. I'm saying he likely did. Do you want to move on? I also am about to send the scans for the things you put into question. You want the evidence, right?
Specific traits. Because listen, what I can ask you is these specific questions. Like for example, I could say, okay, Gojo looks to be human. Gojo might even have these specific human characteristics. Why is it the case that these characteristics lead to him undergoing this certain human phenomena? Like for example, I could literally commit to the view that
Again, it's
Gojo
not necessarily. Okay. I'm just gonna send the evidence and then we can move on.
have the same brain makeup as us. I can commit to a lot of views that make him distinct from a human. So it just seems like you're rambling to get out of the burdens that are placed on you after you got fucking fumbled on and fucking fingered in this conversation. You don't know what the fuck
I
you're
literally stuck my dick up your asshole and fucking busted the fattest, most
Okay,
fucking
can we not be weirdos?
ever, nigga. What are you talking about?
Can we not be homosexuals? We do not like faggots. I mean, don't be
talking
homosexual.
about. You
You
got
don't?
answered anything. So do you want to conclude or do you want to actually try to attack
Here,
what
I'm
I
literally
do?
gonna fucking impregnate you, bro. I'm gonna
Bro.
fucking impregnate you. I'm gonna stick my
He's
dick
a
so
minor,
far up
he's
you,
a
so I'm
minor,
not even
he's
gonna
a
know where it
minor.
went. I'm not even gonna know where it went. Oh my god.
He's a
What are you
minor.
saying?
Do you want to continue getting stomped on?
Do you want to continue getting stopped on? Nigga, shut the fuck up.
Do you want to conclude or do you want to continue getting fucking pulverized in your own BC? Or answer the
False
question.
dichotomy, fat ass. False dichotomy, fat ass.
You know what?
I said false dichotomy, fat ass.
Running away from our answer.
I'm not running away. I'm literally grabbing your evidence right now, bro. Kiss my ass, bitch.
Little bitch. Make it fast.
You're a bitch.
You guys want to conclude after this or no?
Dude, I'm gonna fucking stick my like dick up this dude's head, bro. It's gonna be insane, bro.
Yeah,
You don't even know.
we all fuck niggas, yeah. But do you guys want to conclude after this or no?
Hold on 1 second, bro.
That's been a
Conclude?
second.
No, because well, not in the whole debate, but at this point in specific.
I've already guys conclude with the first 2 points. I think those are very contingent on.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. So I am gonna justify that Gojo got like stronger because this is something that you told me to prove. So we see like initially like okay, so I've already sent you like the panels from the manga in which it states that Gojo is getting weaker and his performance is deteriorating because he's been using his limitless technique nonstop for days and he hasn't had any sleep. And we see in the first panel he like loses to Toji. In the second panel he dodges Toji's attacks, and I continue in the next panel he just kills Toji. He beats Toji the second time. So he literally has a better performance speed wise because the first time he wasn't really like dodging Toji's attacks like that. He was struggling. And the second time he just beats the shit out of Toji. Literally just beats the shit out of him. Toji doesn't hit him once. That indicates that he got stronger probably.
So look, I'm going to, and I do mean this in like the most respectful way. I'm going to ask you a very good faith leader question, and if you don't answer it, we can move to conclusions. Do you think that this evidence is probability weighting to your conclusion, and if so, why?
The answer is yes, and the reason why is because my conclusion is that Gojo would beat Maki, and the justifier for that is Toji and Maki have been stated to be equals, and I just showed you that Gojo, as a teenager, just killed Toji. So if they're equals as like fighters in a combative sense, Gojo beats them, then it's likely that he would beat the other one unless one's equal. If they're not equal, then I don't know.
Okay, look,
It wouldn't follow, but I think they are equal. And beyond that,
look, I'm going to give some like very basic questions, right? We're going to sit down. We're going to turn this into a little interview, right? So, just my first question, right? Do you think
this nigga's talking about? This nigga's crazy.
Listen, Haram, that Toji in this fight was putting the same amount of like effort into let's just say the past fight. You think he was putting in the same amount of effort?
Against who? Sorry.
I said, do you think that Toji in this fight against Gojo was putting in the same amount of effort as in the fight against Gojo earlier in the like series?
Yeah.
Now, can you prove that claim?
Yeah. The reason why is because Toji literally states that he wants to overthrow Gojo because he's like the pinnacle of Jujutsu. He's like the head of Jujutsu society at this point now that he's awakened. And he wants to take him down so he can sort of, in turn, just take down all of Jujutsu society because he doesn't like the fact that he was rejected by the Zenin clan as a kid. So he wants to, like, say F you to them. Like, yeah, I'm, like, hot shit now. I grew up and I didn't need help or whatever.
Okay, now, do you think that Toji himself believes he needs to go all out in order to do this task? And if so, what's the evidence to support the claim?
I don't know if Toji believes that he has to go all out, and this is your 5th question now, so you're not allowed to make any more points. But I would say that he's likely going all out because he's literally afraid of Gojo. He's saying that Gojo is a monster. He's trying extremely hard to beat Gojo.
Haram, don't do the thing where you know you losing, so you start rambling. Just listen and hear me out.
I'm not losing. Your ass.
Listen.
Your ass.
All right, wait, so just to be clear, right, your verbatim wording is that you don't know if you can, like, you don't know if he did this, basically. You don't know if he knew this or thought of this, right? That's what you're basically...
No, but I think it's likely that he is.
Oh, you think it's likely? Okay, what's the evidence that's mutually inclusive to your position that's mutually... That's going to support it, dumb fuck? Answer the question.
You want to scan, dumb fuck? You want to scan, nigga? You want to scan, nigga?
I want to scan.
You want to fucking scan, don't you? Good boy, bitch ass nigga. Okay, I'll grab you the scan.
Just give me some fucking, bro. Going to be mutually exclusive to my proposition that's mutually inclusive to yours that states,
composition? What do you mean your composition?
Thinking that he needs to go all out in order to beat Gojo.
What do you mean your composition?
What?
What do you mean your composition?
Did I say composition, dumb fuck? And if so...
Yes, you did, dumb fuck.
No, I didn't, nigga. I said the proposition. Retard.
You said the composition.
Right now. You said fucking proposition. You
this guy's a mouth breather, bro. I swear to God. Oh my God. Okay. Alright, repeat what you were saying, though, because I, like, interrupted you 4 times.
I'm dead, bro. I'm dead.
This nigga Hero's so retarded, bro. This nigga Hero's so retarded. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Nigga, what you talking about? So just to be clear, I said what is going to be the evidence for the proposition, interpretation, and not implied for my interpretation. Go ahead and give it.
Sorry, hold on. Your mic's bad. Say it one more time. One more time.
Okay, well, it's going to be the case, right, that I'm blowing you the fuck out with a horrible mic, but just to be clear, I said what's going to be the
horrible mic?
The proposition.
You off a horrible mic?
Wait. Okay, simmer down there, retard. What I'm saying is what's going to be the evidence for the proposition that Toji thinks he needs to go all out in order to beat, let's just say Gojo, for example, that's going to be mutually inclusive to your view and exclude any probability raising towards my view. That's what I want you to prove.
I don't know about it excluding any probability increasers towards your view. However, I've given all my... Okay. Yes. So I've given a probability increaser towards my view, and all else equal, a side with a probability increaser is more likely to win than a side without a probability increaser. Now, if this is a separate question where you're asking something beyond what you've asked prior, then your question is just going to be rejected given the point limit and the question limit. But that's the justifier. And you could give probability increasers towards your view if you weren't on a point limit. You're on a point limit, so you're fucked.
Yeah, okay, what are you talking about? Limit?
Point limit, you only have like 5 points.
Nigga,
wait, hold on. That was never agreed upon.
Yeah,
no, that was agreed upon. That was agreed upon.
No, Hero never agreed to.
Look at Trouble trying to side with Hero. Oh my God.
No, I'm not trying to say Hero. Well, hold on.
Here, I'll literally give you 2 more points to be charitable if you agree to a point limit. I'm not gonna argue with you for an hour, bro. People got shit to do. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, we can just wrap it up after he was following.
Wait. Everybody peep chat. This is what I have to do. I have something very important, and I'm going to share this with the chat because I think that this is my duty, and I'm very, implemented in this field.
You said, what is the evidence which is going to increase the likelihood for my proposition? Are you talking about the proposition where I said that Toji is likely going all out against Gojo?
Blue Light Rivals is very important, bro. I know what you're talking about. That's like
yes or no.
What you said? What?
Yes or no? Are you okay? You said what is the probability increaser for the proposition that I made? Are you talking about the proposition that I made when I said that I think that it's likely that Toji went all out against Gojo? Yes or no?
And ask what is the proposition? I said what is going to be the evidence that is going to be probability raising towards your proposition that is not probability raising towards the interpretation that I'm going to apply to this given proposition that you're defending.
The interpretation that you're gonna apply.
Listen, you are trying to give.
It could support your interpretation, but then I would just argue over what your interpretation is. Why do you believe what you believe?
Listen. You are trying to prove, right, that Toji thinks that he can beat Gojo, but a criteria for him to do that is to go all out. And I'm asking you, what is the evidence for that? That is not aligned with the interpretation that maybe and not go all out, or think he doesn't have to go all out. That's what I'm asking you for, retard. It's very clear.
All right, so I just gave you this scan. I talked about the justification, the explanation of this scan and how it justifies the proposition earlier. The explanation is literally just Toji was fighting Gojo, and he was talking about how he literally just wanted to take down Gojo so he could reject all of Jujutsu Society. And if he's doing this and he's saying things such as Gojo is a monster, and we see that he's getting hurt and he's potentially struggling, and I think he's likely struggling against Gojo, I think that he ought to try his hardest, because if he wouldn't, that would decrease his chances of winning, and that would be counterintuitive.
Okay, so you're basically making the argument now that he's struggling, he's on the back foot, and he thinks that, or you think rather, it will be intuitive that for him to not be on his back foot or whatever, that he needs to go all out, correct?
It would be more beneficial, yeah.
Okay, how would you prove that?
Do you think in a fight, if I do 1% versus 100%, I'm more likely to win, or equally likely to win as when I'm going at 1% of my power versus 100% of my power?
Well, okay, obviously I can agree that 100% you would be more likely to, but I don't think that's the only necessary way to improve your probability of winning. Okay, maybe you could go to 5%, maybe you could go 10%, maybe you go 20%.
Well, I would just say in response to that, it seems like he's going all out in terms of physicals. He's using his abilities, and he has an incentive to kill Gojo. It doesn't seem like there's any limiting factor in the first instance when he was fighting Gojo that is not a limiting factor in the first instance. There's no limiting factor in the second instance, which would hold him back from going all out. So I think he's trying his hardest with his stats. We see that his physical body and the tools he has aren't capable enough. And I've already talked about how he's equal to Maki, how they aren't enough to beat Gojo. So given that, Maki also, by proxy, would just lose to Gojo. So that's the justification.
Okay, so listen, that just doesn't answer what I said, and I'll explain why, right? So when we have this, let's just say in a fight, right? Now let's say I send out one of my goons. Let's say I send out High Cake Mouth to go beat on Haram, right? Because he's been talking shit. Now let's say High pulls up, right? And then you walk out and y'all have this little talk, and he's like, well, you know what I came here to do, and he starts beating the shit out of you, right? Now let's say in this hypothetical, you're on the back foot, and he's using we'll leave it ambiguous, right? We'll leave it ambiguous. He's using this ambiguous amount of power, right? Meanwhile, you're only using about let's say 10%, right? Because let's just say you have a football game coming up and you want to be ready for the football game. Now, in this hypothetical, what I am saying is, do you think that it's necessarily the case that in order for you to win the fight, or to have some sort of property where you would need to be on the winning side of the fight, you would need to go all out?
No, not necessarily. But this isn't response to the claim I'm making. The claim I'm making is that Gojo is using Toji is using everything in his disposal, from what I know, most likely. And he's trying his hardest physically, and it's not enough to beat Gojo.
That just because it's going to be the case that I'm losing this fight and I have to go all out to win. Because it could just be the case that he's saying, okay, I've fought him, or I've seen these traits of him, which he verbatim says, and he says, okay, I'm going to go in for this, battle or this next phase of the fight, and I plan on ending it here. That could be his mindset. We don't know. But what I'm saying is your claim is not to be proven via skepticism, because there's just no way to prove it. There's no way you can commit to the claim and justify it, as I've shown you by grabbing you by the fucking neck and ragdolling you around my fucking house.
How did you show that?
As explaining going to be the case that Toji, with his mindset, his abilities, and all these other factors, thinks that just because it's going to be the case that he is losing, that he thinks, oh, well, I have to go all out to beat him. Because I don't think he ever makes a claim. I don't think he ever shows anything. I don't think it's stated. I don't think it's anything. I don't think it's ever justified.
Why does anything need to be shown for him to win? And you're asking more questions and shit. when
Damn.
we're literally over the fucking like limit. Well, no, we're not over the limit because Trouble is saying that there wasn't a limit, even though I'm pretty sure we did agree upon a limit, but you're not sure we can answer that shit. I mean, just because he doesn't say anything doesn't mean anything. We can just intuitively figure out, given like the limited information we have, like we can just make the abduction that he's likely going all out. I mean, it makes the most sense.
Okay, and
Why
look.
is the contrary equally, if not more likely? Why is it either?
No, okay.
I'm not even putting like I'm not
Listen,
even
I'm
putting
asking
like a burden on you saying like you did say that, but if there's no reason why it would be equally or more likely, then I don't know. I've given a likelihood increase. I've given an argument. I've given a motivator. I think my argument should prevail.
oh my God, I'm asking you for the evidence that you're like building the abduction off of.
The evidence I'm building the abduction off of, I've sent it already.
Wait, where?
Scans.
Okay, let me see. So it's one scan. Okay, this scan few. Where's his semester? So what is it supposed to? Okay, so look, from what I'm seeing, right? From what I'm seeing, he saw him and he complimented him. I don't think that means that it's going to be the case that he thinks he's losing either. So what's going to be the evidence?
The two panels. One, it's you're a monster, so he's like literally getting hurt, and he is struggling, I guess, in a sense. Even if you think he's holding back, he's still struggling while holding back because he's not just immediately like killing Gojo. Or having like any like things going against him whatsoever. And the first panel, like I've already explained with the abduction, is literally just he wants to take down Gojo. It's more beneficial to try more against Gojo and use everything you have against Gojo to take him down, so you can take down Jujutsu Society as a result too, because that's sort of like what Toji views taking Gojo down as.
Like for example,
than just like holding back and not using everything at your disposal.
Listen.
It's counterintuitive. It's less helpful.
Okay, so listen, just because someone says you're a monster or you're this or you're a demon at this, that doesn't mean that they are cucking to you. If Future hears an argument from me or he hears me beating the fuck out of some
That wasn't the
furniture,
claim I made. I never even said that he was cucking to him.
that
How are you
doesn't mean
struggling this hard much to the track? What the hell is happening?
fucking demon. You dumbass nigga. So what I'm gonna need you to do is actually provide some sort of evidence that gives product what the fuck you saying, because it's not. So can you do that, or are you gonna keep up?
Evidence for what claim? Evidence for what claim?
Going for like
I've given
20.
the scans. I've justified my interpretation off of the scans. What more do you want?
So answer the question.
Okay, I've given the scans. I've used the scans to justify my interpretation. What more do you want?
We can still not agree to what you're saying because it could be interpreted like reason.
Okay, but what more do you want? What is your contention? What is your issue with said scans?
Into account. Yeah, are you going? Yeah, good clue. I don't think you tracked at all. You got fucking slammed. Low fucking diff, nigga.
Alright, Hero to Nerd loses and gets raped by Haram SpongeBob Part 19. At the end of the recording, this debate is over.
Wait, do not end the recording. Do not end the recording. Do not end the recording. Alright. You guys are concluding. So let me
I'm
just.
not giving concluding statements. Can we save the recording?
Do not say the recording. I will ban you. So we're just gonna start with you. Where's Hero at?
Well,
You think Hero leave? Okay. Oh, I'll just take your person. That's fine. Hold on. Where's Haram at? Don't worry, I'll get him back. Yeah, Hero's also muted, though. Relax.
No, he was server muted.
Yeah, you guys are both gonna get started muted. So let me just bada bing, bada boom. Don't worry, I'll give you back your friends. Don't worry. It's just like a couple seconds. So for the debate itself, there were 3 points. That being, did Gojo get relevantly stronger? Gojo was weakened, and if Toji used his full strength against Gojo. The 2 second points in the grand scheme of things, I don't think those actually matter. I think the deciding point of who won this debate was, for example, what was it? The first point, which is that okay, if Gojo didn't get relevantly stronger to his adult form, then if let's say like Hero like loses like the second point, which is that okay, Gojo was weakened, right? It would just simply be that a weakened Gojo is still relative to an adult Gojo. And if Hero loses the third point, again, I'm not saying he actually lost these, I'm saying even if he did lose these, if Hero lost the third point, it would just be that okay, a full power Toji is relative to an adult Gojo, and Maki is just relative to Toji, right? So either way, the chain scale is still being tied back to adult Gojo. Give me like 1 second real quick.
Yeah. So for the first point, I believe Hero won as he made the claim that we don't have any evidence or any reason to believe that Gojo got any sort of stronger from like, the teenage days. Um, Haram just dead ass never responded to this. Like they, his response is that Gojo was weakened. That doesn't attack Hero saying that okay, even if Gojo is weakened, why does this then prove that like him being weakened is still to the point where we can't tell relativity, right? So Haram just never attacked the first point. They went into the second point, then the third point, and because of that, I believe that Hero won the first point. And I think if Hero wins the first point, then the two other points don't matter, as those 2 points are contingent upon the first point, or it could still be backfilled to the first point, which again Hero won. Um, if Hero won the first
Question.
point, then Hero won the entire debate.
Excuse me, can I ask a question?
Uh, who the fuck? Okay, what's your question? I'm on mute.
Okay, well, wait. How does this
Not
have
gonna lie,
any
hot
relevance to the
slammed
fact
right
that I
now.
literally said like
It's okay.
Gojo kills Toji on panel, and I already justified that Toji is trying against Gojo?
He can kill Toju. That doesn't mean he can kill Maki.
I said that they're equal on recording as fighters.
Yeah, they're equal in stats, but that doesn't then mean that he can then kill Maki too because he killed
I
Toji.
said equal in terms of combative ability, not in terms of stats.
Okay, when I'm saying stats, I mean combative ability, please track. So those are not like mutually exclusive from one another. So
You said, hold on, excuse me. I need to say this. You said earlier, we talked about the whole Gyome Blitz point. Like, I don't know, like Gyome can be like a speed blitz level above another character, but that doesn't prove that he's necessarily above another character in a fight because he might have not have the AP to justify him being above or whatever. Now, hold on. Here's the thing. I don't care if you think that just because Gojo is above another character and these characters are equal in terms of combative ability, that doesn't necessarily mean that Gojo would beat the other character. That was my justifier. Hero never responded to that. So under your criteria, I win that point.
would you like to repeat like the last thing? I was jerking off. So what was that the last thing you said?
This guy's the troll. All
But
right,
no,
bro. I already knew the judgment was gonna be retarded, but no, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
On a serious note, Hero won the first point, and that's the only point that matters. So because he won that point, he didn't win the entire debate. Do you have like any contenders with that?
So if hold on. If I'm saying that the reason why Gojo is above Maki is because Maki and Toji are equal and Gojo beats Toji, how is that not relevant? Explain that.
Yeah, because okay, if you're saying that, but then the first point goes through, which is that okay, Toji is the relative to said Gojo, and that thing will just be defeated. It's just that Toji is relative to Gojo, Maki's also equal to Toji, therefore the relative. And here could have just argued
Oh,
like,
wait, sorry, you cut out. Repeat yourself. The very last part.
yeah, I said the reason why that didn't matter is that that only matters if you win the point. You didn't win the point, so because Hero won the
We
point.
only did one
Wait, hold
point.
on,
We
hold on,
didn't
hold
do
on,
multiple
hold on,
points.
hold on. You did do
Wait.
multiple
What do you mean? What do you mean? We if I won the point, we only did 1 point. There's a bunch
You
of
did
sub points.
multiple.
The
You did multiple
overarching point.
points. Hey, yeah,
No,
stop
no,
breaking
we
down
did.
for me.
Those were sub
Hold on.
points.
Stop
Those were
interrupting me.
sub
Stop
points a
interrupting
part of the
me.
overall points.
Stop interrupting me. As
What
I
do you mean
said,
that's not?
there
What
was
do you
three
mean I have
points.
to win the
The
first
first
point to
point
win the
was that
debate? We
okay,
went over
did
other
Gojo
points.
become relevantly stronger? The second point was that okay, was Gojo weakened? And the third point was that did Toji use his full strength? I then explained when I was giving my verdict. I don't think the second and third point matter, as if it's the case that Hero wins the first point. Those two sub points do not matter at all. You
What?
failed to prove.
Wait.
Yeah,
The first
you
point
failed
is
to
if
prove.
Gojo's weakened. Wait. Hold on. The
That's
first
not.
point is wait. The first point is what? What's the first point? Repeat that real quick.
Yeah, so this is the third time to repeat this. The first point was did Gojo from his teenage days to his adult days get any significant amount stronger? The second point was okay, did Gojo was Gojo weakened when he fought Toji? The third point was when Toji was fighting Gojo, did he use all of his strength? Was he going all out? Those are the three main points. The last 2 points do not matter. The first point is the only important one. Hero won the
Okay,
first one.
the first one is literally implied by the fact that he kills Toji in the second instance.
Okay, again,
The other thing is the third point does matter because if Toji is going all out and Gojo does beat Toji, it doesn't matter if Gojo doesn't get like relevantly stronger. He never said earlier Gojo lost to Toji or whatever, so that doesn't like he has to get stronger or whatever. He never makes that claim. Okay, I'm the one that used stuff from the fight. I'm the one that said that Gojo beats Toji. That's why Gojo would beat Maki. They're equal as fighters. Gojo would do the same
yeah,
thing to Maki as he did to Toji.
and the third point, Hero, I'm pretty sure, not pretty sure, he was arguing that Toji wasn't going all out. Like there wasn't sufficient evidence for probability towards that said claim. I also think you
Right?
also
I literally justified that. Are you stupid?
yeah,
What?
you justify anything like just
Yes, I did. Yeah, yes, I did. I literally made abductions for that shit. Yes, I did.
what your all points of question are unsubstantiated.
How were they not instantiated?
Okay, yeah, Hero put those things.
So what we're hearing is you didn't listen to the debate and you're just giving Hero verdict
No, I
because
did
he's
listen
your
to the
buddy, and that's
debate.
why he picked you as judge. Is what we're hearing.
Well, for one, I'm not biased.
Well, wait.
I'm
Can you say like on God or on your mom or whatever that you genuinely think that like Hero won that debate?
yes, I believe Hero won the first point, which is contingent on the entire
Yeah,
debate.
can you say that? Can you say like on God or like on your soul or whatever though, or on your
Um,
mom's soul?
yeah, sure, on Haram's mom. Yeah, so it's
No,
really,
no, on your mom. On your mom. Don't say shit about my mom, nigga.
I don't see what's like holds any relevance towards like my credibility.
It's
Though.
relevant because it shows that you're a fucking lying bitch.
How am I lying? Like, I already told you, I do not care
Just
about
say
this.
you swear you believe that Hero won. It's
I'm
not that
telling you,
hard.
I believe Hero won the first point. Yes, I don't
Say
have
you
to swear
swear.
on it.
Say you swear. So you swear to God, or that you swear on your soul, or that you swear on your
Why?
mom's soul.
Well, I don't have to say these things. But what does that add to
Just say
my?
it. Just stop being weird. It's literally like 2 fucking words. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I don't see the need for why I need to like say this. It doesn't hold anything. Like,
Okay, you're literally avoiding
Yo,
this shit and you're humiliating yourself in front of the whole fucking chat in VC because you know I won that shit. It's just a fucking dick ass hoe ass judgment, bro.
okay, to anybody in the VC, if you believe Haram won, please, Michael.
Yeah, okay, so
yo,
I'll
yo,
give verdict.
hello?
Almost like giving like Hero like rhetorical back shot.
Yo,
You
yo,
like
is
slam like
Mitchell,
every
yo,
single
Okay, yeah,
point.
hold on.
Most
Okay,
obvious
yeah,
garage
is my mic
SpongeBob W
lagging? Am I
ever.
good?
for one, mortify, you're a simp, you like e-girls, so we don't care about you. Truth. Why do you believe Haram won? And which point do
Wait,
Hey,
you believe?
man,
wait,
yo, I
wait,
just wanted to say,
wait. Yeah, truth. Wait, what's the argument for Haram winning?
Yeah,
oh,
what's the
I just
argument?
wanted to question the judge. You know, I was tuned in and out, but he said Haram didn't give a response to the relatively weaker stuff, which I thought was completely blasphemous and retarded, and kind of shows that he didn't have his ears open listening. The direct response to that was that humans get significantly weaker, right? And that was the whole abduction point with the humans. So, can you give me a reason as to why Haram lost that point,
Yeah,
please?
and then
Most
Hero was
important.
on the list. Yeah, then Hero gave likely for why he doesn't believe these certain applications would apply to that of Gojo. Haram's point was that, oh, well, Gojo was born from humans, therefore it's so likely he's also a human. He never attacked the relevant distinction that Hero gave for why Gojo would not be
He
a
just
human.
said that the relevant distinction would
Well,
be
can you like
irrelevant given
respond to the
its
point that I said?
abductive
Can you respond to the
property.
point that I said? Can you respond to the point
I
that I
mean,
said?
if you think that, wait, just
Wait,
really
hold on. What was
if
like
you
Haram's response to the relevant distinction that
just
Hero
really
gave?
quickly, if you yeah,
Oh
so
no
Look
no
at
no
he
no
the
no!
said,
judge
It's not
running
like
away.
giving
See
the
the
relevant
yeah,
judge, bro.
distinction that Haram gave, that Hero gave.
yeah. So
What's Haram's response?
once
Okay, so
again,
you don't have any.
yeah. Can you just let me talk? So once again, the response he
So
gave,
once again, we don't care about the low tier. You haven't given, yeah, just type it out of chat. So until you can give me any sufficient reason, not sufficient
Wait,
reason.
why are you perma abusing? Why are you perma
Because I
abusing,
can do
nigga?
it as
Why are
a
you being
fucking
so
like,
weird?
I
I'm
mean,
not
bro,
sure.
muted.
So again, what was Tom's response to the relevant distinction that Hero gave towards why Gojo would not be
Wait,
considered?
that was
he
what
just
relevant
said
distinction did he give?
yeah.
Okay,
So
yeah.
the distinction he gave, no, he did give a distinction, Haram. The distinction that he gave
No,
would
no,
be
the
things
No,
like
he made
Gojo's
one, just not a
ability and how
relevant
his
one.
the first distinction is that one, Gojo can move at superhuman speeds, i.e.,
and
being
the
able to move at
actual
Mach 3.
relevancy.
That's
Gojo
why
can
that was
teleport.
relevant. Why are
Gojo
these
has
Yo,
distinctions
a
relevant?
Trouble, can
out
you
of
just let
hours.
me talk?
Gojo
If
is
you're gonna ask
superhuman.
me a
Gojo has
question and
spiritual
try
energy.
to run
He has
away when I mic
energy.
up,
Wait,
I was
Haram,
not
let
like,
Truth
speaking
speak,
about
by the way.
Haram. So
yeah,
his argument
like
is
the
number
whole
one.
VC is kind of
So
waiting to
regardless of
watch me
one,
slam on
regardless
your
of
head.
what
So
Haram
can you
said,
just mic down,
these are like the
please?
relevant
Like you're
distinctions that
really
Hero
low tier,
gave.
you're really
You did
bad.
not give any
No
response to
one
these. So
thinks you're
true.
winning. Can you please just mic down? Okay, now I can
Yes,
finally
as I
respond.
was saying, Truth, do
So
you have
Haram's
any response
response
to what
was,
Haram gave
"Yo, can
to
you
that?
stop
No,
talking
what was
over
your
me so you can
response?
get slammed? Yo, can you stop talking
No,
over
no,
me
no,
so
no,
you can
no.
get
I'm
slammed?"
asking, what was
All
his
right,
response?
back
Can
to
you
what I
flip
was
it out?
saying. So
Wait, why do you
Haram's
keep repeating the
response.
exact same
Wait.
thing?
Can you
Can you give a
stop
response
talking
to
over
why
me? Oh,
Haram won?
wait. Can you
No, I'm not
stop
talking
talking
over you.
over
I'm
me so
asking
you
you a
can get
question.
slammed?
I'm asking you a question. I'm not talking over you.
Yes, I understand your
Wait,
question.
can
I
you not
gave
just give
you.
me the
I
question?
gave.
Just let him
Wait,
answer
wait,
the question. Just let him answer the question.
bro.
No, 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 like,
I've
no,
answered
he's
the
not
question
answering the
three
question. He
times,
keeps
but he's just
responding to it.
talking over me
So
like an
again, what is
idiot.
the answer to the question?
Let him
Yeah.
answer the
So the
question.
whole. Yeah. So my answer to the question is just that Haram put into question just how
Yeah, what did
relevant
I
these
put into
things
question?
actually are when distinguishing. Is this guy human? Is he not?
Yeah, what did he
And
put
then
into question?
what was Hero's justification there?
Yeah, repeat the thing. I was server deafened.
Oh, so that will be tracking issue number 1.
Yeah, that's a lie.
Similarly
You weren't
to how
server
you
deaf.
did
Yes, for one,
describe
a
it in the
tracking issue
debate,
would be me hearing
right?
the point and not
Once
understanding it.
again,
I don't really why I'm not
wait.
here.
So that'll
Live
be
my own
tracking issue number
contract.
1, but I will
It's not
repeat it for you so
starting
you can look
reading a set
terrible,
that you're
right?
using.
Wait,
So I'll
but I
ask you
will
again.
repeat it for you
What
so
was
you
the
can
wrong?
look even worse. Wait, so can you mic down so I can repeat it,
Wait,
little
so
man?
can you get the wrong
So
response?
as Hero kind of tried to do with Haram, I'll sit you down and walk you through step by step, right?
Oh my,
So
these
the
are like poor
direct
reports for that.
objection.
I'm just gonna ask you
Wait,
again. What's like the
mic
advice
down
that he
so I
gave
can
back to your
explain.
hero's
Put your mic
response?
down so I can explain.
No, I'm still talking. I'm
All
just
right.
asking you. So can you like give her like a
So
response
once
to the
again,
question I'm asking right now?
wait. So once again,
So once again,
the
can you like
thing
stop
that
repeating these same rhetorical
oh my
jobs? Like these are
god,
not working for you. I'm asking
are
you
you
again.
trying to run
What was
away
the
or are you gonna
wrong
let me
response to
explain?
the
Are
thing
you
that
trying to
hero
run away
said?
or can I explain?
No, I'm talking to you right now. I'm asking these questions. That was
Okay. Yeah. So I'm answering your question, right? So his direct response was
yeah. I don't know
questioning
why
the
he's 30 minutes.
actual
So what was the
relevance.
direct response?
Yo, am I not trying to answer the question?
No, you
Shut
keep
up.
talking. Please answer the question.
Okay. Once again, right?
Wait. Okay. Once again,
His,
isn't answering my question though. So can you actually answer the
oh
question?
my God, bro. He's trying
It's
to
not
run
answering the
so fast
question.
and so
I'm not,
far
no, I'm
and
not running.
deviate away and run
Asking,
away and
what is the
gallivant
answer
away.
to what
Just
Haram
please
said?
be
What
quiet,
was
man.
the Haram's
It's
response
like it's
to
really
the
bad looks, really bad
instance?
optics for when you're seeking clarity and
Wait, hold
begging me
on.
to
Can
answer
you
the
like please
question
answer the
because
question?
you couldn't track the debate. You asked to judge.
I have to
You're
note it
begging
down.
me to track
So
it for
again,
you, and then you won't even let me do that.
you
Does
like give
that
me
not show
begging?
your
I'm not
corrupted?
begging. So again, what was
Yeah.
Haram's
So
response to what
the
Hero said? Can you
actual
please get
reasoning I
that?
gave was that Haram put into question the
Okay, what did Haram put
actual.
into question though?
Was I done talking? All right. Yeah. So Haram put into question how
Yeah,
relevant
what did
these
Haram?
traits are whilst establishing is this guy human, is he not? And then what was hero substantiation? Go. Or someone unmute him.
Okay, we're just gonna like take his turn real quick. Hold on.
Oh no! Where the fight get that nigga, bro?
Bro, you cannot strip people, bro. It's like, bro, what?
Yo,
Yeah, I don't
yo,
know what.
stop running.
Strip
Stop
this
running.
kid, bro. Strip this kid.
Pretty annoying.
Oh
Yo,
me,
Twan,
God,
Twan,
bro,
Yeah,
I'm finna
go
take
mute.
your parents
What
away,
about just
bro.
strip
You
him
can't.
for like 10 minutes,
okay,
bro? Just
I
10 minutes.
don't care. Like that's it's annoying. Like I'm in the midst of doing something. Stop server meeting. It's
You
Bro,
not.
just
literally won't let him
respond to
talk.
the point, bro.
Yeah, so repeat it one more time because I was server deafened.
Look, what
You
goes
weren't
around
deafened at
comes
all.
around. If you don't
You
like being
lied.
muted, don't mute people.
All
God,
right.
just learn how to pack.
All right. So this will be tracking issue number 2. So once again, right, it's simply the case Haram put into question how relevant the traits in which Hero gave are when distinguishing is this guy human or is he not. Now, what was Hero's substantiation?
Time to ask you a question that I already answered. So let's repeat it one more time since both you cannot track. The relevant distinctions were simply this. For one, Gojo can move at speeds that which will rip a human's body in half. That being
Kind
Mach
of
3.
relevance. So, wow, I get that's the claim. I really understand that's the claim. Let me stop you from yapping. What was Hero's substantiation for these things being relevant? Can you answer that or not?
The substantiation for that normal humans cannot do the things that Gojo does. What's causing the question if Gojo is actually a normal human?
Which
He
calls
might
it
not.
yes, but he brought up other people who are exemplary,
Okay,
which
I
we
don't
don't
care about
question
the
their
other things.
humanity.
Okay, wait, hold on. I do not care. Actually, no, Hero never brought up other things. What Hero said is simply this, verbatim. There are other characters in fiction who have human appearances, but because they have human appearances, it does not lead to the conclusion that they are human. He never wants to name
Again,
these
my
people.
claim was never that they
Yes,
are
he was
human. The claim
never
was that
saying.
they're likely
Wait.
So
human.
Mike,
again,
Mike
wait.
down,
So again,
Haram. I
we're
got you.
having a
You can low
misconception.
stick. You can
You're
low
having a
stick. All right.
misconception.
So once
So Hero
again,
never
right,
wants to do
his
that.
claim
He went
he
off
actually
the point.
specified his
The
claim.
government
It was
distinctions
never a
these
claim of
things.
necessity. He never agreed. Well, it's possible, right, that Gojo's not a human. Right? He's just saying that given the facts, given the fact we can apply abduction, given the fact we can apply some kind of induction, we can reach the most likely conclusion that Gojo is a human.
Do you know like his deduction was for that though? Do you know that? Please explain it to
You
me.
said what?
Yes, this is tracking number one. I don't know why like you're so retarded.
Yeah,
So I'll just simply
so
ask
now
you
you're
Bro,
gonna
again.
it's
Hey,
because your mic is shitty.
style because your mic
Okay,
is
so I'll
doggy
repeat
and
it
your
one more
mic
time
isn't
since you
clear
really
and
don't
all
sound
that,
distracted.
right?
So as I
Just
was
because
saying,
your mic
what
isn't
was the
clear
reasoning
doesn't
for
mean that
why
I'm having any
again,
kind of tracking issue, you
again,
genuine
again,
moron.
again. What was
Please
the
mic
evidence for
down
what Ron made
until
his
you can
abduction off
respond
of?
to the question.
So can you answer the question or no?
I can't tell what the question is
Okay,
via
so
your mic
anyways,
clarity.
anybody else have any like contentious verdict? Because this guy's like an
All
idiot.
right,
He's
so
not
don't
listening to
try
the
to run
question.
away, right? Say the question.
No,
I
no, no,
couldn't
no.
hear
When I
you.
asked
Your
him a
mic was
question, he
very
didn't
unclear.
respond to
Say
the
the question.
question. And then you're saying, "Oh, you're my mic." I don't care, kid. So again, I'm gonna ask the question one more time. What was the evidence for which he made his abduction off of? Please tell me that. Do
Oh,
you know
the
what the
evidence was all right. So the evidence, yes. So the evidence was things like Gojo's physical characteristics. He brought up how Gojo was
That was
born
not the
from a
evidence.
human.
That was not the
Huh?
evidence. Yeah, okay.
Oh,
It
really?
was literally, yeah. It was simply one. It was simply one piece of evidence. It wasn't even like an actual like it was a
No.
falsehood,
So,
right?
oh my.
I'll explain
When he
it.
says,
So this
wait,
is the
I
argument.
have a genuine question. Yo, idiot. When he says traits, wait, when he says traits,
Yeah. So the abduction that which he made this evidence off of was simply going to be this, right? The argument was simply
Stop
this.
him abusing.
Sorry, cry about.
You cry about it, bitch.
oh my god, bro.
You getting hoed?
Unmute him. I'm trying to genuinely discuss the verdict. I genuinely believe that he didn't listen, or his reasoning for Haram losing wasn't sufficient.
Yeah.
Not saying that Haram
Bro,
didn't
stop
lose.
using your guys' terms and
I'm not gonna lie, nobody cares, bro. That's getting boring.